An interesting topic in today's market, and the conversation that I'm having with buyers more often, is why are homes falling out of contract going back to market? And the main reason that that's happening in our local market has usually more to do with the condition of the home, because financing really, although expensive, there's not a lot of problem with the buyer getting the financing. There's not a lot of job insecurity, at least today. And so it tends to be less about financing and qualifying than it is about property condition and maybe the expectation about that. And so I think when you see homes fall out of contract, go back on the market, there's this disconnect between buyer's expectation of condition and value and seller's expectation. And what I have noticed lately on seller listings is the expectation is a lot higher compared to when they bought the home. It's kind of interesting. And I think the reason this is happening is because things are so much more expensive for today's buyer. Today's home buyer is paying almost double the interest rate that, that sellers are typically have. And also the home value is a lot more expensive than it has been in, historically. And so I think also if you're going to go out and improve a home, you go hire a contractor, it'll blow your mind how much it costs to, do some remodeling or fixing up. And so all of these things on the expense side kind of add up. And so today's home buyer has a pretty high expectation on condition. And this is also why the best advice when it comes to listing your home is to prepare it very well, or as well as it makes sense to, because homes that are priced for market value but need work, those ones tend to sit quite a bit. I think the value in this lesson is that when you're on the selling side, you just need to understand what's happening on the other side of the transaction and not make the comparison of like, well, I was comfortable with it, so they should be comfortable with it, because when you were comfortable with it, the world was a little bit different. At least the finances were a little bit different. And so while you made some decisions at that time based on those value sets, today's buyer is making those same decisions on a different set of value sets. So it's just good awareness to understand what you're dealing with. And if you're a buyer in today's market and you're curious about this, I think it's important to be positioned with an agent who can help you navigate these things, who has experience with not just the selling process, but what happens after you own the home. When I think about my story, I know so much more about a home because I've been a homeowner and I've worked on a home, I've remodeled a home, I've sold homes of my own, and I can future pace, a property that you're looking at or property that you might have certain plans for, and have a pretty good insight on what that journey looks like. Of course, you can't perfectly predict it because it's dynamic, but give you a pretty good sense. And so I just want to make sure that you align yourself with someone that has the qualities that you're looking for, I think is what's the most important there. If it's really important to you, whether you're thinking about selling or buying, to have someone who can really help you navigate not just what you're looking at today, but how it's going to affect you in the future, then those are some of the things that I bring to the table. I'm Justin Vierra with the Vierra Group, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video if we're not talking soon.